If you play with fire, you're going to get burned. If you step into the devil's playground and you think you're going to play with the devil and God is not watching, then you're sadly mistaken. If you play in the devil's playground and with fire, you're going to get burned. If you refuse warnings, many warnings from other people throughout the years, and you don't heed them, if you don't listen when someone comes to you to help you with a message of truth, and you ignorantly or spiritually haughty attitudes don't listen, then you're only to blame when bad things come over you, when the hand of God is removed from you. Many people out there are not realizing they're playing in the spiritual world and they're not taking the great I am seriously. Because if they truly knew the God of Israel, he is all love, but he also is a God of judgment and justice and even wrath. We haven't seen his wrath yet. People who are teaching false things about God or even doing fake prophecies, fake dreams, and they're calling it from God when it's coming from their vain imaginations, or they're trying to sell God to someone who's in need of God. If you're setting up phone lines or internet and you say that you get to hear from God, but you have to pay me to get an answer from God, you're not working for the God of Israel. It's just really that simple. If you're teaching false doctrines about God, you're not working for the God of Israel. If you're giving out fake prophecies, fake prophets, you're not working for the God of Israel. It doesn't matter what you proclaim. People need to wake up. In the spiritual, judgment will come because God controls everything. Right now, even the devil. If you don't take your warnings and you don't heed them, whose fault is it? If somebody or many people show up to warn you about something and you're too spiritually haughty to listen, and then you feel like you're righteous enough to go around and out other people, don't think that the God of Israel won't stop it. Now, a lot of people call me heartless, but I'm a truth sayer. I am point blank, to the point, shoot from the hip, say it like it is so there's no misunderstanding what the warning might be. But if you reject the messenger or you reject the warnings, whose fault really is it? And is there a learning lesson in here? Yes, there is. In fact, this next year and this past year, you're seeing that God is not playing anymore. He's real. He is real. He will take his hand away, and he does chastise his children. The truth is just the truth. The truth doesn't come with anger or hate. It just comes with the truth. Some people can't handle the truth. Some people are frightened of the truth. Some people deny the truth. Some people don't want to hear the truth. But I personally would love to hear truth. I don't even care if somebody says a swear word while they're saying the truth. Any way that the truth can come out clear, precise, so that other people have a clear and precise understanding of truth. And the truth is, most people don't understand the God of Israel. He's not just all love. He is a God of wrath. He is a God of judgment. He is a God of justice. And even though you may not see justice for a long time, it will come. And God will chastise us, especially if he has sent many, many, many messengers to you. I know this for a fact. I got many, many messages many years ago to change my ways, but I didn't. And I can't piss and moan because, well, I didn't listen to those messengers. I got what I deserved. I was chastised. God's hand was taken away from me, and I learned. Well, I don't reject messages of truth anymore, but there are many that do. And sometimes they're warned nicely, and sometimes they're warned boldly. It's not hate. It's not anger. It's called truth. Pure truth. What do you think God's judgment is going to be like? Do you think that it's going to be puppy dogs and lollipops and sunshine? No, it's not. It's going to be multitudes of death, disease, because people are disobedient. They think they know the God of Israel. I will tell you, in the spiritual, whether it be a child, whether it be an adult, it's spiritual. And if you don't understand spiritual, then you're not going to understand this. Yeshua does take the children back. Look at the story of Job. Job lost, and Job was righteous, and he lost all of his children. Every one of them were taken away from him. God does what he does when he wants to do it. Why he does it, a lot of times we know. Other times we don't. We don't have the mind of God. But when someone is under judgment because they refuse to listen to warnings and messengers, how else will somebody listen? And sometimes God will take children. You think that's mean? Well, in the spiritual, if you're looking in the spiritual, all children and babies go right back to God. This is where we walk. But this isn't our home. This was never our home. When we leave, should we know the Creator, we will go there. Babies just automatically go there. Children go there. It's just the way it is in the spiritual. But down here, often, those that are speaking for God don't know anything about the God of Israel, and they don't listen. They don't listen to warnings. I'll tell a quick story. We were on a case, and a woman who was very highly educated, who had an illness that was going to kill her if she didn't get treated, abandoned her vehicle and abandoned her family and left. And she was of age. When we found her, she had very little time. She was acting strangely, and she probably would die if she was not taken to a hospital. But the law couldn't take her because she was not doing anything bad to harm herself or anyone else. After the case was done, we had a gentleman, who is a father, by the way, who said the case is over. It's done. We found her. Goodbye. But the problem was, the father of that daughter was chasing behind us, and he was crying mercifully on the sidewalk, asking if I could go in there and talk to her to get her to come out and go with her mom and dad to get well. And I looked to the leader and asked him, and he said, no, the case is over. Well, I knew already. I could have gone in, sat down, prayed with her. She was a Christian and a true believer in Yeshua, but I wasn't allowed to. I was very upset about it. I have to leave a man crying on a sidewalk. And not soon after that, the man who did not care about another man's child, he lost his child unexpectedly at a very young age. And I knew God had taken his hand away from the man who didn't care. In the spiritual world, God runs the show. And he decides how to teach someone to humble themselves, to stop false prophesying, to stop false teaching, because he's very good and he gives warnings first, and he'll send many, many messengers. But he'll start to play hardball when you don't listen. And if you still refuse to listen after the first, second, third time, it's only going to get worse. The judgment gets worse. I don't know what people are thinking. Maybe they don't know the true God of Israel and they don't realize that people are going to perish when this fully comes down and manifests. When judgment comes in its fullest force and the devil is allowed to take his seat down here, you're going to see many deaths and disease and suffering. Does that mean that we want to see it? No. But what we want to see is people to turn back to our Creator, God the Father, and Yeshua. What else will it take? What else will it take to stop people from doing what they're doing and not looking at the truth? Does that make me hateful? No. Does that make me angry? No, not at all. But God the Father's angry. And all these fakers and posers, oh my goodness, God is warning you. Be real sure about what you're saying. Be real sure you're teaching the correct things. Be real sure when you take money to help a ministry that it's really going to a ministry. But see, you can't trick God. You can trick me. You can trick millions of people. But you can never fool the great I am. Ananias and his wife, they fell over dead because they lied. Because they tried to hide something that they couldn't hide from God. They couldn't even hide it from God's apostle. People need to wake up. If you don't understand the spiritual and you think God doesn't see, you got another thing coming.